CT side, I definitely see a chance here. I mean, you never want to count out old pro gods like Oscar. Even Edward had some massive stints, of course, in Navi. But it is going to be that pistol round to decide who's going to take the advantage. Mid control has been gifted away. Edward with a double headshot coming through, and Gruss trying to crawl his way into that A bomb site, but they are already a couple players down. Juan Flatro getting himself a couple of kills. Truth only chimes in for 2, but that is going to be the pistol for SELECTAH.
Pretty aggressive on the CT side, and they had the aim to back it up. Edward kicks it off with a double, and then Juan Flatro follows it up with 2 quick kills of his own. And at that point, the pistol is pretty much shut down from APEKS. Without a bomb plant, they won't be able to get any fancy rifles or anything into a force buy for this second round, so they'd rather take the hard eco, try and put the bomb down, and look for a full buy up into number 3. SELECTAH not taking any chances in this matchup, and you can see why. With Truth hitting shots like that, it can be very dangerous indeed in these second rounds.
And another one dig from Truth. Well, he's going off on that deagle right now, and they are not playing with any armor, so this is a really solid amount of damage that they're dealing. Of course, SELECTAH are gonna APEKS are gonna buy in the next round. Getting 2 kills is already pretty nice. If Dennis gets himself a third, this is a massive round win for the APEKS side. Just keep the money low. It is most likely going to be only 2 kills though for the side of APEKS, because JL will get the last shot in, and that's going to be 2 on the board for SELECTAH.
And now we see the rifles come out for the T side of things. No AWP to put in the hands of Marcelius unless Truth decides he wants to go glass cannon with the sniper rifle. An unlikely scenario to bring forward into the third round, considering that SELECTAH, they're probably not going to have an AWP on the board either. It's too early days for the CTs to invest that heavily into the rifle. So our first full gun round gets underway then, and APEKS looking to start scoring with a mid-execution. Dropping out the utility, and SELECTAH have to back away pretty much immediately from that connector angle. They'll put Edward in with the FAMAS, and they'll stick around to hold the crossfire, as they don't want to give this portion of the map away for free. And for now, SELECTAH have fairly decent defensive positions. The utility also for APEKS is slowly starting to run out.
I really do like this this move from SELECTAH, just at least throwing some utility and keeping mid control for as long as possible, not just gifting it away. Afterwards, they're going to group up on towards the sites though, but A site at the moment only has 2 defenders, where they are stacking towards the B site. SELECTAH are boosting a player on site, it seems, and they really are expecting that B take to come through from APEKS. Kind of an interesting read. Might still be the case with the bomb dropped in mid, but it does look like they're edging towards that A site slightly more on this this APEKS squad. The peak comes out. Truth is going to get spotted by the player in JL all the way in the back. Edward is actually holding jungle right now, so if anyone peeks in, oof, Grush executes him, and JL's the last defender towards A. This is just a completely wrong read coming out from the SELECTAH side, and it's going to be a retake situation. Flash coming out. JL gets blinded because of the flash and is just stuck in the corner. How does Oscar not know that they're coming towards CT? They're even aggressing forward. Tappa is trying to get anything done for his team, but the bomb is planted. 2 versus 4. Utility is lackluster. This is just a save straight up coming out from SELECTAH.
Yeah, they are going to back out towards the B site to try and preserve these rifles. It is the incorrect call to stack in the B bomb site. They believe that early mid presence from APEKS is leading towards the B side of the map. Unfortunately for them, APEKS decide to probe out the A bomb site and actually are able to clean away the early defenders before any kills can come through from the CT side. So the first full gun round does go the way of this APEKS squad. With 2 M4s on the board, there is going to be a full buy coming out from SELECTAH. Tapper can drop one forward onto players like JL or Oscar and make sure that those guys can at least have a weapon available. It's no AWP on the board, but Oscar may still be able to find some tags or headshots with the scout. APEKS with this, though, could break the CT economy and look to take the lead early on in this best of one.
Yep, but it's the other way around as well. They could get themselves a couple of kills. Edward in mid does manage to get Grust. Nice flash from JL to make sure that Edward gets a blinded player to focus down. And that is some good teamwork coming through on the SELECTAH side. A player advantage for the CTs now. Edward holding close towards window, expecting a possible boost or a player pushing up short, and Oscar with the scout. This is actually a really good angle for the scout to have, because most of the time you only really see a headshot towards connector. Of course, does need someone to check ramp every once in a while, otherwise he is a sitting duck if anyone peeks wide.
Well, this time the stack has been called into the A bomb site, and the gamble may just be correct in round 4. As long as they stick to it, SELECTAH, and don't rotate anybody away. In the late instance, they should have a fair fight in terms of numbers in towards this A bomb site. Edward seems to be aware there could be a mid player waiting as well. That means that Marcelius could find trouble getting into this A-bomb site. Truth is already struggling to move forward on the ramp as his head is removed by that scout headshot of Oscar. Marcelius now looking to push into connector and take a gunfight with JL. Unfortunately, he loses it. Dennis wins his one against Flatro, though, and Oscar now taken down by APEKS. That gives an opener, and he needs to extend it all on his own, but he does find the headshot onto JL. Leaves it in a 1v1 situation versus Tapper. No smoke to cover his cross to the site, but instead scares his opponents off with the bullets. Bomb goes down, and 1v1 clutch needed from APEKS, but Tapper lives up to his name, taps down the head, and puts the third on the board for SELECTAH.
That was a nice one. APEKS almost manages to save that one for his team. A little BM right there from Tappa, but he at least manages to take that round in his team's favor. But with the bomb plant coming through, APEKS will most certainly buy up in the next, because of course SELECTAH have barely any weapons on their own side, and APEKS are coming out ahead on this buy into the next round. That is the way CSGO economy works. It is still kind of strange every once in a while, but it definitely does bode well here for the side of APEKS to try and turn this one around. There is, again, Oscar with the scout did manage to get a nice headshot in the previous round. Will he be able to get that one again this time? A little bit of aggression towards mid, but it's a 1-for-1 trade so far. APEKS gets one. JL trades it out onto APEKS. Of course, APEKS with the big kills in the previous round. Flatro will get his team another one, and a nice catch from Tappa towards B. Bomb is actually slowly crawling towards B, but their entire team is being annihilated right now. Unless they get aggressive and peek right into Truth. Gets a double spray down. B side has been gifted away right there. Truth 17 HP to his name. And Oscar is going to get... gonna be the last man standing against Truth on the B bomb site. The bomb is down, has a lot of time, but does not have a kit. With that smoke, might be able to fake out the play towards short, but it is gonna be Dennis reigning supreme in that 1v1, and APEKS managed to clutch that round out with just a nice spray down coming out towards B site to just completely open it up for his team.
And that is the round that breaks the economy of SELECTAH. They have to force up at the prospect of a double eco. That means it's Edward picking up the scout instead of Oscar, and Deagle's pretty much available for the rest of the CT side. It's APEKS looking for a fairly standardized A execution with just Marcelius lurking over towards the B apartments. They're just waiting for the right time to deploy their smokes and walk out onto the site.
Yeah, not much that this SELECTAH squad can do, except for the big flank from JL. Might be able to catch a couple of plays, but they expected Dennis holding that push coming out. Will JL have the perfect timing? No, he will not. Dennis does not shut him down, but does at least keep that palace area controlled in favor of his team. So they can only push out through ramp. They are using all their utility right there. And a great catch from Oscar as well. The bomb is still stuck in T-spawn at the moment. And they're getting a couple of kills here on the SELECTAH side. Another tag on to APEKS. Juan Flatro is trying to push forward. APEKS close range will not get the shot in, but Dennis does manage to get rid of Juan Flatro. However, they're being pushed from 3 different angles, and this is terrifying right now for the APEKS squad. They need to hurry up and get that bomb planted. Nice catch from Gruss to take care of Tapa. JL still flanking around. Will he expect Dennis towards Sandwich right now? Dennis peeks out wide, and it's all on Oscar. 1 versus 2 will only get the 1 and not the 2, and that is going to be SELECTAH forced on an eco into the next round.
Well, the strategy was right early on from APEKS. They did bait out the rotations early on with those fake smokes onto the A site, but SELECTAH, because they just have pistols, they were able to basically sprint back and forth between the A and B bomb site and move much faster than those T-sided rifles did. They almost took control of the round as well, but it's a good effort from APEKS to find the necessary kills in that 2-on-3 scenario and not lose control of the round. Their economy is still in a bit of a precarious spot, but they know they're up against eco pistols now, so they can use these SMGs for some lovely bonus cash and get through an easy 4th round.
Well, it's going to be pretty much as you said, just easy cash. JL, also no head armor, should just be easy cleanup. Oscar gets taken out. PP Bison is the best gun in the world, of course. And Edward with the deagle. Last man standing. Might get a drop. Might get 1 player with a nice lineup. But Truth finishes that round off in favor of his team. And it's looking pretty solid for APEKS. 4 rounds on the T side. Not too shabby.
It certainly is not. SELECTAH, they have the cash to bring out another full buy. Interestingly enough, though, they've not actually put an AWP in the hands of Oscar throughout this map just yet. They've not really had the cash to be able to justify that one, and we'll see whether or not that has any impact on his fragging. He's doing pretty decent right now, keeping up with the rest of the team, so it doesn't seem to be too adversely impacting him. This push, though, from SELECTAH, they have to get the timing right on it. Instead, they're just going to have JL take that aggressive ramp position. They're going to hear that utility rain over, and based on this underpass positioning, it looks like an A hit is on the cards here from the APEKS side. It's perfectly read by SELECTAH as they're stacked up into the site. They just need to win the gunfights now, though.
Yeah, player in towards jungle as well. Could get a good flank, and he does get 1. Juan Flatro completely unaware that that push might come through as well, and this is just annihilation coming out from APEKS. SELECTAH getting crushed down, and yeah, this is not looking too good for Tapa. Has to save.
Now we have the opportunity to talk about our case partners over at Hellcase. If you use the promo codes MaltaV and MaltaV15, you can save more and grab what you deserve. Tapa, he just has this M4, got to save it. It doesn't look like anybody from APEKS is too hungry to go hunting for it. Their cash isn't in the perfect spot so far, and they'd rather play the long game economically to make sure that they have a very easy ride through this T side. It shouldn't be a buy coming through from SELECTAH in the next one, despite this rifle being safe forward, and that should mean an opening 6-3 scoreline for this APEKS side.
Yeah, SELECTAH just straight up losing almost all the duels. A little bit of communication issues, it seems, not knowing what is open and what is not. And APEKS catching them off guard most of the time. This was a great flank from Dennis. They had absolutely no idea that someone could have been in jungle right there. With the changes, of course, the way you can just easy get onto jungle yourself, it's very likely that there will be a player from the T just going through window most of the time. So you always have to be wary of that angle if you're playing the CT side of Mirage. A boost from Marcellus, see if he can find himself a catch, but they're playing close range. And will they be able to overwhelm Marcellus? He is actually... Okay, he does have some backup coming through. Op shot's gonna whiff. JL does get taken out though, because APEKS gets himself... Tapa has the M4 close range, turns a frag around, but with the weapons that they have, unless Juan Flatro gets a big kill there. Dennis is just tapping away against Oscar, but the Deagle only needs one bullet to connect onto the head as well to get themselves a kill. B side has just been cleared out, and that's going to be an easy bomb plant coming through. Don't really think that there's too much that SELECTAH can get done. They might save that second AK that was rifle that was dropped. Truth did not spot Tappa, which I think was more a 4x3 kind of situation where he just was not in his vision. Elias misses a shot, and that's going to be the side of SELECTAH at least saving 2 rifles into the next round. Hopefully.
There are still hunters on the way, but it doesn't look like they're aware of the positioning of these SELECTAH rifles, and I don't think they'd be able to get in the Palace in time to hunt them down. Gruss would have to basically sprint straight forward onto the angle now and try and farm an early AK. Drops the flashbang in and does decide to swing around the corner, but doesn't overextend into the crosshairs. Dennis does have a go, but Tappa can take him down for the triple. Those rifles do get preserved. A full buy coming through from the SELECTAH side once again, and now it's double AWPs out on the board for the CT squad. Oscar and JL picking up the sniper rifles to try and turn the tide as we head into the latter stages of the first half. They want to put a stop to this APEKS scoring streak.
Yeah, Marcellus at the moment is only on 2 kills, so he's not really awake just yet, and that is the opportunity to try and shut down this B-side operator. There's not really that big of a difference between the 2 kill squads in terms of kills. It's very close, actually a lot closer than the score suggests, but that's of course SELECTAH has saved multiple rounds to try and keep their weapons alive. And it is going to be Oscar towards that B side, gets the catch onto Gruss. That's a man advantage now for SELECTAH, and Oscar definitely has some great highlight reels to be careful of if you're this APEKS squad. And heavy rotations from SELECTAH coming through though to defend B site. So they have to be careful because they have over-rotated in the past, and they should not make the same mistake twice.
Fast rotations do seem to be a key part of this SELECTAH CT side. Not necessarily the worst trait to have, but you do need to be confident you have the correct information. This time they do, as Tappa and Edward open up for 2 kills. Marsalius can get 1 in exchange, but that makes it now a 2 versus 4 scenario in which SELECTAH know the positioning of these APEKS players, and there are only 30 seconds for the T's to work with and try and get the bomb down in this A bomb site. Smoke deployed towards jungle, but JL is waiting with the AWP here in towards CT. Instead, he whiffs the shot, and Dennis actually has taken down Juan Flatro. Marcelius on 2 HP. He actually takes the leg, and Dennis aggressive. Nearly takes down both players. Instead, now onto Marcelius, 2 HP. For some reason, the short player is not aware, and that's given Marcelius space to maneuver now. He fakes out the plant, but does not have enough time to commit to it. Very close round there, but APEKS don't have enough time to put it off.
Yeah, he got incredibly close. That shot from JL actually did connect onto Marcelius and brought him down to 2 HP, but it was only a leg shot, and that's unfortunate. Of course, cost him his life, cost him a lot of money on the SELECTAH side. But Oscar keeping that op alive is at least a big plus for their team. Also ducking away, not trying to engage aggressively to try and get, for instance, the bomb plant denied, which a lot of people attempt to do. Oscar gets himself the opening kill onto Truth. Just a straight up rush through mid by the APEKS squad. A lot of damage taken though for their trouble. Gruss, Juan Flatro just faced up against each other, but Gruss spots him out first, and that is going to be a kill returned. APEKS versus SELECTAH. JL is going to check out Connector, but there are 2 players in Connector, and ACAS finds JL first. The Connector fight's not going that well for SELECTAH right now. They just are missing the players inside the smoke. B is being pushed, and there's a player towards Palace in Edward, so this is still very doable with the positions of SELECTAH, with the weaponry that they have, but they need to make something happen right now. They might catch the APEKS players off guard, but it does seem that Gruss has a nice read coming through. Oh, Dennis turns around in time to catch Gruss. No, sorry, Dennis gets taken out in that instance. Never mind. Brain fart. Dennis gets a kill while turning around, looking towards ramp, sees the player up palace. That's what happened. And now it's going to be Marcelius, Dennis, and APEKS holding that side defense. Tapa's actually getting aggressive for some reason. And will get his head chopped off instead of just disengaging because Oscar already ran away to save his op.
And it looks as though he will get away with that sniper rifle as well to be able to bring it forward into this upcoming round. The buy probably shouldn't come out from the selector squad here, even though Oscar can drop a weapon and Edward can get that M4 and head armor. JL and Flatro, either player might have to drop down onto a FAMAS or an SMG, something in that vein. Tapa is going to get the M4A1S, and it looks like it is JL to the MP9 and Juan Flatro to the Deagle. Not the best buy in the world to be bringing forward. Definitely an advantage to APEKS, especially with this aggressive play. They have caught perhaps a selector unaware on the A bomb site, but actually it's Marcelius who is not ready for that close range engagement.
Yeah, it just gives away a free op to JL, who's going to play that close angle with the op. But the scout from the Deagle does give away that no one is at the moment peeking ramp. The flank coming through, though, towards T-spawn. Edward is on a massive flank. Again, just like last round, see if it can pay off this time. They know that there's no one coming B. Oscar gets the first shot onto APEKS, and they are just botched in. Bomb is dropped towards the site. What can they do? They can shut down Oscar, though. JL as well, just whiffing shots. Luckily, Juan Flatro with the Deagle comes in as well. But look at that. Right behind them is Edward. And Dennis will be the last one falling. Tried to get the kill onto Truth, but Juan Flatro was there first with the Deagle. And a nice round from SELECTAH. The early info given by Edward really did secure them that round.
And the force works out for SELECTAH, and actually the cash isn't quite there for APEKS to go for the full investment. Dennis and Marcelius could get the guns out, but Truth, Cruz, and APEKS would not have that option available. So they will be going for an eco here. That should be SELECTAH up on to 6, and that would mean the best APEKS could hope for after the end of this round would be a 9-6 end to the half. Not the total nightmare, especially considering the T side is their weaker one on this map, but SELECTAH definitely showing they can remain competitive despite being the underdog in this series.
Yep, there's a lot of damage done with utility right now. Boost towards short. 3 players almost down, and unless they make a massive mistake here, this should be an easy cleanup round for the SELECTAH squad. And 1 man left alive. Truth has a Deagle, has some armor, but no utility, and has to take down 5 players. That's a nice opener, though. Juan Flatro gets his head chopped off. But now Tapa is coming in on that flank from T-spawn. Knows exactly where Truth is stuck. So just needs to hold one certain angle right now. Truth is still peeking out wide to see if he can get himself a catch, but now does expect the flank to come through sooner rather than later. Is going to move towards the ace. I mean, this is just mainly to see if he can get any damage done before he falls.
Yeah, just looking to perhaps take down one of those tagged up rifles, but unfortunately does not get the opportunity to do so. As we enter the penultimate round of the first half, APEKS will be bringing forward the full buy. It's 3 players doing the majority of the work of the kills for that squad in the form of Truth, Dennis, and APEKS. Rather, compared to SELECTAH, it's a different story indeed. Completely balanced almost, a point you mentioned a few rounds ago, but interesting that it's pretty much stayed the same. 2 on 10 and 3 on 9 for this SELECTAH squad with 2 rounds left in the half. It could end at 9-6, or perhaps SELECTAH could compete for it and make it 8-7, either in their favor or at least deny the bonus rounds towards the APEKS side.
Oscar heard the steps from Gross right there because, of course, the molly tick would otherwise give him away anyway. And they're going to rotate heavily. 4 defenders towards that B bomb site. Only 1 towards A in Edward. And he's just playing towards jungle, but the bomb has not committed at all. And Edward gets heavily tagged up. And that immediately calls the SELECTAH players to possibly rotate back. They're just gonna stick to that B site. The bomb is heading towards A. They're already on A. They're pushing forward. They've got pretty much site control. And SELECTAH are still trying to defend that B side. Finally, they have a rotation coming in from JL towards CT and 2 players towards mid, which will be a 1 fight from Edward, who was very low in HP, but Dennis, he's just crawling further towards the site. And it is going to be a retake situation coming in for SELECTAH. Bomb gets planted in a pretty open position, but with the utility left on the side of SELECTAH, they definitely should be able to flush this B side out completely.
Well, the start of the retake goes well, but Dennis is trying to put a stop to it. Tapper and one flat throat taking down 2 more defenders, leaves Marselius alone, and Tapper can finish things off with his 2nd kill in the round. That is everything all tied up in this second half, and it's going to be 1 round making the difference between these 2 sides at the end of the first. APEKS with less money to bring forward than they would like. The buy is going to be less than perfect for the primarily Norwegian squad, meaning SELECTAH are the favourites to have that 1 bonus round heading into the second half.
Yep, it definitely does look that way. The double op actually did turn everything a little bit around for SELECTAH. It looked like this would just be a blowout in favor of APEKS. And it does seem like a heavy commitment to that B side. They have a lot of smokes and flashes, so they can flush out the B side, but the counter utility coming out from SELECTAH, holding them off, and the rotations immediately called in from SELECTAH. They really do like heavy rotating towards that B side and just playing retake towards A. Flashes, everything flying through. Mactan gets rid of Tapper, and Juan Flatro. Do they expect the player so close? Gruss, they do not expect him at all. But Gruss also does not expect Juan Flatro right behind Oscar. Now Juan Flatro with the AK cannot hold the line. Dennis gets a double. Up shot from JL misses, and that is APEKS getting the half advantage in their favor. So APEKS will go on to the CT side with 1 map in their plus. Wait, the 1 round.
Bonus round to the APEKS squad heading into the second half then, and it is Dennis leading the way both on the server and for his squad. 16 kills in 15 rounds is not bad at all from the Swedish veteran, but it's Marselius, the highest rated player on the APEKS side, who's the lowest fragger in this map, and the odds now actually heavily favor APEKS. There we are. I thought they might have been the wrong way around. Fairly similar to what they were at the start of the map still, considering how balanced it was at the end of the half in that one. And heading on to the CT side now, this is where we could see APEKS struggle a little bit, as SELECTAH have won the vast majority of their rounds on Mirage on the T side of this map.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty much their goal here to at least win this pistol. Mid aggression coming out, picking up a couple of P250s. Truth gets himself the opening frag, though. Tappa does chime in. Dennis gets Juan Flatro, but towards B, it is apps cleared out pretty much. The last 2 players, however, are running into the CT defenders. Truth peeks out wide, and JL turns his head in time, but it's not going to be enough to keep them alive. And APEKS win that pistol and get the advantage on their CT side.
9-7 up, but will the force buy come through the T's to deny a 10th round? That is the question. It looks like yes is the answer to it, as we see Tech 9s and Deagles get purchased by the SELECTAH squad. A couple of SMGs out for APEKS, but also some AUGs and a FAMAS to try and keep these Deagles at bay. With a loss here, SELECTAH would be looking at an 11-7 scoreline against them. Not impossible, but that would be APEKS starting to build up some CT side of momentum and pulling away in terms of the round advantages.
And that's definitely something you don't want to have happen. They are going to push towards that A site. Molly is actually flashing Akas down. Burns to a crisp by Edwards. Molly and Marcelli is on the site with his FAMAS. Can he hold it long enough? The Macdown comes through. Truth is trying to jump shot, and a great execute coming out from APEKS will at least grant them the bomb site, but they still need to get the plant in. Smokes are dissipating, and they have not gone for the full plant, so this is just problematic. Long range tapping fight with the AUGs coming through, and that is just favorable for APEKS, they got on the site, but they just forgot to get the plant in. And that is where SELECTAH completely fumbled the ball.
It looked as though SELECTAH felt it was too dangerous to commit to the plant in that A bomb site, so they tried to hold on for too long and eventually were taken down by those APEKS rifles. Now they go for the hard eco into round number 18, and it should be APEKS up on 2-11 on the CT side as well. I failed to see how SELECTAH could take a victory in this one. Some scraps of body armor on Tapper and Juan Flatro, but that's supporting a P250 and a Deagle. No rifles, no SMGs, no automatic weapons even for the SELECTAH squad, and it should be a fairly clean conversion from APEKS here for their 11th.
The double AUGs so early on, pretty nasty on these angle fights. Juan Flatro towards connector, might catch truth, does do exactly that. That's a AUG picked up. JL gets the kill onto Dennis. Luckily, the CTs will get themselves 2-for-2 trades so far. JL is trying to fake that he jumped inside jungle, and they're heading towards that B bomb site, where if Gruss falls, the rotations are pretty long away that he might just... they might get overwhelmed and get the bomb plant in. And on the B side, post plant is pretty doable to defend for the T's, even without any utility, with all these nasty angles that you need to try and peek. And however, the rotations are coming through. Oscar gets the kill onto Gruss. Marcellus is going to get triple peeks, shut down, and the last man standing is going to be AKAZ going towards apps. And I mean, this should be around for SELECTAH unless APEKS just goes absolutely amazing right now. Doubtful that he will. They haven't upgraded their pistols just yet, but they now know where he's pushing from. Time is ticking down. Will get one kill, but they managed to pick up one M4 at least. And he just jumps right into the crosshairs. Oscar shuts him down. SELECTAH, I mean, they managed to just get the Deagles to the face and shut down this APEKS defense.
They're able to close down the close range engagements and steal away a hard eco. That forces APEKS to invest into this round, as it would be the double eco otherwise, and that could be SELECTAH now building their way onto this T side and perhaps balancing the scorecard a little bit as well.
And we are off into the next one. SELECTAH heavily aggressing towards mid, whereas APEKS are going to be playing close angles on A site. Of course, Deagle's pretty scary. JL did not spot Marcellus out in time with the AUG, but they're heading towards the B site, and there's one B defender. It's a mid to B split. Dennis gets himself one kill. Long range stab fight, trying to get himself more, but only one kill will land. The rotations are coming in quick. The bomb has not been planted just yet. They're expecting a second player from APEKS somewhere close to site. That's why they're not pushing just yet, but now they will cross in, get the bomb plant in. Gruss chimes in with another Deagle kill. These Deagles are absolutely deadly, deadlier than rifles at the moment. AKAZ close range can definitely overwhelm JL, who is pretty close. JL gets the tags in, and that is going to be another one round for SELECTAH, forcing APEKS on an eco, and this should be probably 10-10.
Unless APEKS can find an eco victory of their own, it should be the tied scoreline here on Mirage, and APEKS might be starting to sweat a little bit at that prospect in this best of one. They'd really want to be avoiding dropping down into the elimination series later on, as both Skade and Spirit are formidable opponents. So however that other map goes, the opponents are going to be strong for the loser of this one as well in that elimination matchup. Dennis is able to find a kill with the USPS as the stacked A bomb site does yield a frag at bare minimum, but this bomb is on its way to the B site, and Oscar has cleared away Dennis now over on A. Gruss does get the back of a T presented, but can't really connect the bullets to the back of the head, so it is the easy 10th. Found by SELECTAH, and it's APEKS looking ahead to the full gun round in the next one.
Yeah, they're trying to save themselves 2 rifles. That's why they're flanking Oscar. And he expects the flank to come through. Gets rid of Marcellus, but where's the last player as well? Is going to get shot from behind. Or did he not spot him out? No, Edward did not spot him out. That's going to be APEKS picking up an AK, but he is boxed in already. Edward right behind him. Will he win that duel? It is going to be Edward shutting him down. Of course, has the superior angle because he expects APEKS to walk back. 10-10. Both sides getting double digits. A buy round coming in right now. They're picking up an op on Marcellus and Oscar. And honestly, Marcellus only on 7 frags. That is very uncharacteristic, and he really needs to start waking up on that CT side op. Otherwise, APEKS might be dropping to the losers match.
Well, this has certainly heated up in our opening match of the day. All tied up as close as you can be, and Marcellus, oh, that's a missed shot from both players. What is going on in mid? JL, that is one of the messiest spray downs you'll ever see in your life from an AK, and that's allowed Dennis to get a kill back in mid. Juan Flatro can trade out Tapper on the A bomb site, but Dennis is here and looking for more. Misses an early opportunity to take Juan Flatro down, and the utility is going to make it difficult for him to re-peek into CT. Marcellus looking to strafe around with that AWP, but the Molotov might just clear Dennis away regardless. On 13, it's the HE to get it done, and only on 11 is the CT AWPer. Pushing behind him is his teammate. One smoke available to them on the retake, and a huge push coming in towards mid for SELECTAH.
Yeah, Edward flanking the entire time is mainly his goal. Juan Flatro does shut down the 2 CT players though, and SELECTAH take the lead against APEKS, something that I, honest to God, did not expect to happen. Of course, you did say that SELECTAH are better on their T side, and it does show. But I have to say, Marcellus has been missing some crucial shots so far, and that from your star AWPer, pretty much highest HLTV rating on the team. You really do expect more from him. But they're going to spot out a player going down below, and that should be all the info that Oscar needs to make sure that he is going to be safe. They're going to flush the player down. Dennis, he's stuck now in lower. Will he be able to get himself out of there? Edward flashed up. I think that was a team flash actually, but Dennis is going to get executed, and a 2-man advantage for SELECTAH all of a sudden. Truth, Marcellus, and Gruss the last 3 standing, but it's just easy cleanup right now. And SELECTAH, they've got pretty decent amounts of cash on 2 of their players, so you have to do a lot of economic damage right now. That's going to help definitely.
Ooh.
Truth coming in with the double headshots. Unfortunately, will not be able to convert it into a third to give them a solid chance. And Gruss in mid will get shut down by Juan Flatro. At least they managed to get 2 kills, but APEKS, it's looking dire right now.
The CT, well, rather the T-sided economy is in a very strong spot as well. JL over 10k. Edward, I think, had 13,000, and despite these lovely shots from Truth, it was not enough for APEKS to steal the round away, and not really enough to cripple the economy of the T side either. They have a bare minimum 1 buy in the bank, maybe even 2 with the cash available and the loss bonuses that would come through. That puts APEKS up against the wall at the moment, as even with victories, they need multiple consecutive rounds to break that SELECTAH economy, whereas SELECTAH could put them back onto an eco with a single victory here to look for 14-10. They go to dump smokes into the A-bomb site, and it's aggressive positioning from APEKS to try and defend, but Truth's missed his shots. AKES, his Molotov does work out for a kill onto J. Allen. Marcellus has chosen an important round to start fragging, finds 2 with his AWP, and leaves Oscar now trying to do work on the A-bomb site. Can't connect an aggressive shot, and SELECTAH, they change their minds and decide to have a look elsewhere.
Yeah, but Gruss, he's trying to push aggressively. Might not expect Edward that close. He's going to play the bench area towards Apps. Oscar, this is going to be a nice shutdown. Edward, the last man standing, gets himself 1, but does not get Marcellus. Marcellus 3 kills coming in, and as you said, crucial round to do exactly that. They will have another buy on the side of SELECTAH. I mean, Edward's got 13 grand in his back pocket, so they definitely have more than enough money. And APEKS need to be careful that they're not going to get knocked down right now, because that would be disastrous. You need to start stringing rounds together, because it is not getting any easier right now.
It certainly isn't. Early Molotovs towards the A site deter any deeper aggression from SELECTAH in this round. Instead, Oscar just has to wait around with his AWP and hope somebody crosses over to the A stairs. It's not happened quite yet, and Edward, he's not safe in Palace. Marcelius waiting for him to peek and takes him down as the first player from the round to fall. SELECTAH in danger of allowing their opponents to tie up the scoreline now at 12-12, and their bank is starting to wane slightly. Not an ideal position to be in on the T side, but they can avoid having this momentum slip away with a round victory. Despite the man disadvantage, if they do look towards the B bomb site and find a couple of early headshots, they should be able to take back control of the round.
A little bit of a whiffed flash right there. Team flash coming out. That's mainly because of looking the wrong direction. Dennis does spot out the players towards short, but does he expect him that close? No, he does not. Jail gets himself a kill. Gruss towards the apps is gonna get peeked by Tapa. Groove chimes in and Juan Flatro just executes Marcellus. They have to save on APEKS. They've got no money left and a massive round for SELECTAH. Exactly what you said. If they move towards that B side, it's 4-on-2. It doesn't matter that you're a player down in that case, and they just take both of them down without losing a single soul. SELECTAH 13, APEKS 11, and APEKS looking down the barrel right now.
They are in a bit of trouble in the opening best of one of the day, and if they want to avoid dropping down into that elimination series, they need to step up to the plate and start fighting for Mirage. SELECTAH only need 3 more rounds to close this one out and advance to the winners matchup in their group, and that would be a phenomenal achievement for them and a great opportunity, considering that they are the lowest ranked team in the group overall as well. Looking at the cash for the APEKS side of things, they are probably going to invest, as Dennis has 4,400 in the bank. Akez can drop his team out, so the rifles will be on the board, but if they don't win this round, APEKS, it's probably going to be 15-11 before they can get some serious guns out again.
Yeah, and that is looking at map of series, just a general series point. Of course, it is a best of one, so this decides if you're going to drop to the upper or the lower match, which most likely you're going to be facing up against Spirit in the upper and the lower against Skate, but you really don't want to have to face up against either of them, but you at least have that little bit of an extra buffer if you hit that upper side, because, you know, doubling up and going all in against Skate is also not the greatest of fun. This is a very crucial round for APEKS. As you said, they will be looking down to map point if they lose this one. They have a solid investment, though, behind them. They've got rifles on everyone, utility for days. Marcelius gets the opening kill on Oscar in mid with his trusted AUG. And that is at least the advantage for APEKS in the round. It is going to be an A execute with 3 players from APEKS towards mid, pretty much. So their rotations are quickly, but will they be there in time? Marcelius is trying to hold them off and is going to jump through the smoke, see if he can spot a player just dancing around the area. Molly's and everything flashing through is going to get sprayed down through the smoke, and a nice frag for the SELECTAH squad. Bomb plants coming through, and they just have to play the retake right now. Luckily enough, there is barely any utility left on the SELECTAH side, so they can flush out certain areas and try and go for the push, but not if JL gets that first opening frag. 3 versus 3 right now. Juan Flatro still in sandwich, and Dennis has absolutely no idea. Juan Flatro going big with the double, and Edward chiming in for the third. That is going to be SELECTAH 14-11. APEKS barely any money. They could force up to try and deny map point, but it is going to be very risky if they do.
And this is about the worst position APEKS could be in on Mirage at the moment. They have to just pick up the pistols and go for the full buy in the next one, but that should be SELECTAH up on to 15 rounds in this opening best of one. It doesn't mean that APEKS are eliminated just yet, but it certainly means they're going to have a difficult route through the day if they can't find work with the pistols in this round. Marcelius already tagged down to 2 HP, and Gruss now taken down. as a result of those mid engagements. Meanwhile, Truth, he has to go big on the B bomb side. If he gets taken down, it's wide open for SELECTAH to walk in and get that bomb plant. Pretty much everybody for APEKS at the moment is sat in this connector angle, and SELECTAH are going to be able to smoke it off the back of that one and try and make their way up short.
On flat throw as well on 23 frags at the moment. Dennis tries to peek out wide, but JL expects it. A player spotted behind sight. The Truth, can he get Tappa? Misses the shot. It's all on APEKS. Has 1 kill already, but has to go for the quad. Will not succeed. Oscar shuts him down, and that is going to be SELECTAH on 4 map and series points. So this is do or die for APEKS. You lose this one, you're dropping down below. Dennis, 22 frags. APEKS, I mean, it's not too bad, but just the fact that Marcelius has not been fragging at all, this map is just disastrous for APEKS. They need their opper to step up, because Oscar's not getting like the biggest amount of kills, but he definitely is getting more than Marcelius right now.
Well, he's found a very quick kill off the back of this round, and Arquez behind should be able to take down Juan Flatro completely unaware. The change of pace onto the A-bomb site not going to work out for SELECTAH in this one, and it's left Oscar alone towards B. The cash is still available for the T side to buy up, but I mean, it's fairly standard to see at this point in time. It's almost like a basic tendency of Counter-Strike sides. As soon as they hit up on that 15th round, they want to go for the rush and end things quickly, and unfortunately, it barely ever works out.
Exactly. It's a little bit that greed. You think you can shut them down quickly and aggressively, but it does not pay off. APEKS, they got that opener. Nicely done by Marcelius. It is most certainly going to be that round win for the APEKS side. Keep them alive a little bit longer. Oscar's going to get shut down by Dennis, just holding the angle, and will be going for the double op setup on APEKS's side. Drops it. Will actually keep it himself. I was already thinking Dennis is also a pretty solid secondary opper, so we'll just keep that one in his back pocket. Might go for the B hold, I would assume, 1B, 1A, as you normally do with a double op setup. And they definitely have this power in them to win 3 rounds in a row, especially because if they win this one, SELECTAH are going to have to probably go for semi-buy and then go for full buy in the last one to see if they can turn it around.
Lower pace in round number 28 from SELECTAH. They look to take underpass control. Truth is waiting for a peek, but he's just fallen away from the angle before he gets the timing. Does swing back around, but only receives some damage for his trouble. That's mid-control pretty much given away to this SELECTAH squad at the moment, as it's Dennis secondary AWPing towards the pixel angle on B short. Slow and methodical at the moment from the SELECTAH squad, but Truth on low HP has been able to win out that gunfight. Dennis can't quite connect his shot though, so has to drop a Molotov to bail himself out, and that is Truth being cleaned away by JL on the window repeat. Now it's isolated defense for APEKS, and they're a bit paranoid about that. 2 players on either site, so they send Marcelius closer to the B area and send APEKS aggressive towards the A ramp, but he's looking the wrong way, and that's A completely wide open. Edward going to be able to flash in and get access to the site unless Marcelius can fire out with this sniper rifle and stop their entry.
Yeah, that is going to be it's looking do or die right now. Marcelius getting aggressive towards triple. Edward does spot the barrel, gets tagged by Marcelius, but JL gets the kill. Bomb's gonna get planted. Dennis gonna go for the big play, jumps through, gets the kill through, and Grutz with the spray down through the smoke, gets rid of Tappa, but close range JL. This is something they might not expect. Actually, Grutz, it seems he expects it very much so. And Edward's just trying to bait them in. JL around the corner, staying hidden, and it's going to get spotted out by Gross. Good job from the APEKS squad. It's all on Edward. 1v2.
Oh.